Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So we're now on day 2 of the event, Player Celebration Week, and if you haven't yet, make sure you pick up the 2 free tiers of the support pack. This was actually a change since the event started, so make sure you get it because you do get 2 cards, including the guaranteed support card. For free, and you have a chance to get an ultra rare card, so make sure you do that. Also, just to kind of quick recap of where I'm at right now. I did spend the 2,000 gems on tier 4 to get the guaranteed Galena. I didn't get it from my collections, and I really wanted that card because I really like the artwork, so I went ahead and got that. Unfortunately, my runes don't look so good. I'm on my last rune here, and so I'm probably just going to save this and smelt it for the next event. I think that with what I have, I think this is okay. I also don't have the card Silverhoof, so I will not be able to show that in today's video. So what I want to do in today's episode is actually go over a bunch of different decks. We're going to go over each of these decks and we'll talk about how to use them and focusing on the mechanics of how to use this particular type of cards. So the first one I'm going to show is basically all the cards that you can get from this particular event. That includes three OV cards and 1 Galena and then 1 Night Sun. So I had a Night Sun from previous events, and it is available as one of the collection cards. So this is the deck I built. And for relics, I'm using 1 of the Oasis Scimitar from the previous event and 1 Scorched Scimitar. 1 Blood Sword for ancient cards, and then I have a raised staff and also just an Exultant Saber. So let's go ahead and try this out against a boss. Let's go against a guild boss here, and let's see how we can do here. So the way that you want to play this is going to be very similar to the Water Slayer deck, where you kind of want to activate your cards in a specific order. So let's see how we want to go about this. So let's go ahead and first make sure that we can activate the battle skills. And the nice thing is these support cards, they also heal every time it attacks. So once you get hit, it will destroy, once you actually match gems, it will destroy non-fire gems as well as provide a heal. And given the fact that I'm running 3 of these support cards right now, I am generating Mystic Intensity pretty well. So I'm going to wait until I get up to 100 Intensity, which is right now. And I'm going to go ahead and activate these. And then what I'll do is I'm then going to match the fire gem and then basically let all of the gems fall with the non-fire gems getting destroyed. Then I'm going to go ahead and activate the Galena and then Night Sun to basically destroy all the other gems. And then at this point, there is going to be some power gems remaining on the board. And so basically do a power gem swap, and then see all the gems come down. And with that, we're able to deal, about 2.2 billion damage. Not a significant amount, but given that all of these cards are basically, potentially free, but really Galena could be something that you spend a little bit on. And these are all level 1 cards, so it actually does okay. And I'm not using the most powerful relics either. So that is with Night Sun. You want to activate it after you activate Galena, so that you can fill the board with gems, so that you can increase the overall damage from the beginning. And later I'm going to talk a little bit about how these damage actually applies. And so with all the gem fall, like how much damage boost can you actually expect? Now the second one is going to be a similar setup, but in this case, if you got the Cannibal God, then we're going to see how this works. So if you have the Axe Tech relic, this actually is going to come in really handy because this relic will create power gems as long as there's at least 4 power gems on the board. So let's go ahead and see how this would work out, because I think what you want to do is with that particular deck, you want to try to build up more power gems and then use that to your advantage later. So let's go ahead and play this deck. So this one is going to be a little different. You're not going to use the Night Sun to destroy all the gems, but you are going to have a similar gem fall sort of mechanic there. So let's go ahead and match all of our gems here, and first couple of turns, if you don't get it on the first turn, it's fine because you're going to have plenty of gems to play with, so then you can just match the second turn. And so whenever possible, to try to do matches where you can create some power gems, because that's going to help you, basically it's going to be very helpful for you to ensure that you you can power up your one, you can power up your cards better, and two, you reduce the total number of fire gems that's on the board, so then you could prevent them from getting matched. Now what I did was I also activated the Cannibal God there so that I can prevent some damage, and now we're at 125 intensity, so I'm going to go ahead and do a I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And then, so I'm going to activate all of the skills for Ovi, and we're going to wait for all the cards to drop. And at this point, there's not as many gems gems I would have liked, but let's go ahead and do a power gem swap and see how much damage you can do there. And I'm doing this a little slow because I'm trying to explain at the same time as well. So you can see that the damage is going to be just not enough, but we can do another swap here and we should be fine. So the thing to keep in mind is Ovi as a support card is going to have a very low attack, low attack value because it's a defender card. And so whereas typically you could expect to have, some good damage out of the support cards, that's not going to be the case. If you do want to keep only 1 or 2 copies and you want to awaken them, you are going to get a little bit of a boost there. But right now I haven't bothered leveling them up. They're all level 1, so the damage is not quite there. If you level up a little bit, you'll be able to take out the guild boss no problem. Now, the thing is, the guild bosses really are the ones that have the lowest health. And so if you wanted to take on some other bosses, what are some of the teams that you could have? So this is actually my go-to team right now for this entire event. Amy is one of the, one of my favorite Slayer decks. I know that this is not something that everybody will have, but I am going to showcase how this deck works out. So, I can actually get a pretty good damage even with just a single key with this particular deck, and you can see how this works. Like I'm going to show you with 1 key how this will work. I'm not going to be able to take out the boss here because I won't have enough health, but you can see basically with this particular type of deck, all you have to do is ensure that you can power up the battle skills on turn 1, and then you can activate all of the skills because it's not really intensity dependent. I mean, intensity does help, but in this particular case, it's fast. You can get it on turn 2, and then you can generate just enough damage so that you can deal pretty good damage on this turn. And we can see how much damage I'm able to deal with 1 key on turn 1. This is actually how I've been building up my my guild boss keys on on the first day. So you can see there with a single key, I was able to deal almost 1.7, I think I dealt 1.3 billion right there with just a single key. Right. So the reason I'm showing this is because in the future, if we encounter this type of deck again, this is what I would recommend. It really is useful. It has retained its value really well. And, for this particular Slayer where things are a little bit different now, like they've toned down there's no more elites, they've toned down the bosses, it's become pretty viable again. Now let's go ahead and take a look at another deck here. So this one is going to be taking advantage of the fact that you have another card that can generate power gems. So with this particular deck, right, with this event deck here, power gems everything. And so you really want to make sure that you can use a card that can generate power gems. And in this case, I'm using Thoth. You can also use Ra if you don't have it. For relics, I just have one God relic there. I'm using 2 of the Scimitar relics, and then I'm using Ray Staff for additional damage. So let's go ahead and see how we can do with this particular deck. Now, I think with this particular setup, we can actually try this against... I have a team set up here. So I have a Eternal Vascular here. So let's go ahead and try this deck out using this. And so we're going to deal a little bit more damage with this particular setup, and let's just see how much we can do with this. So let's go ahead and battle. And because I have Ovi, it will also counter Chaos. So we can use this to full advantage. And this is going to be a 60-second fight. So let's see how we can do here. So with this particular setup, it's going to be very much the same. The thing is, I'm not going to be able to get Power Gem Force on the board with this. So really what I'm gonna be able to do is really just wait until I can get as many fire gems on the board as I can. So in this case, just wait a couple more turns and I'll get my intensity up to 100. And so basically next turn it's going to be 100. I'm going to go ahead and activate everything, and then let's go ahead and make sure that I can actually match the fire gems, and I did there. And then so we'll go ahead and wait until everything drops there. And then at this point, I'm going to activate Thoth first to get 5 additional power gems, and then activate Galena so that I could get the gem fall. And so over time, what this will do is you'll be able to build up a lot of fire gems on the board, because as the intensity goes up, Ovi is going to basically pass all of his abilities onto the other Mystic cards, and so you're going to end up with close to a full board full of fire gems. And so what I'm going to do is let's wait until intensity 200, and then we're going to build up to the intensity 300 and see what the difference is like. So I'm not going to activate everything just yet. I'm going to wait one more turn, and then now that it's intensity 200, I'm going to go ahead and activate everything. And both Thoth and Galena is going to be available as well. So let's go ahead and activate this. And so one of the things, remember I said, try to make sure that when you do a match, that you can get power gems. And that's what I'm doing right there. So let's go ahead and now see what happens there. So now you're going to see more fire gems are going to be available on the board because there's more gems dropped. And then let's go ahead and activate Thoth and then Galena again and see how things go. So this deck would have been nice with Thoth if there is a card that could generate power gem at force. I do have the ultra rare card from that particular deck, so that I could have done this. But I think that with this particular setup, it's okay as well. And now let's go ahead and wait until intensity 300, and then we're going to quit out here because I'm not going to spend the entire 60 seconds in the game clock, because that's going to be about 10 minutes real time. And so we'll wait one more turn, and then let's go ahead and activate everything here. So with 300 intensity, you're going to get much closer to having the entire board being full of gems. So let's see how that goes. And then after that's all done, then we will go ahead and so you can just see just like, how many gems have been dropped there. Now let's go ahead and repeat again, activate everything. Now with 4 Mystic cards, I believe that we've probably reached our maximum in terms of how many of the passive skills it can pass off. I'm not sure there. So you can see it's starting to build up. We're dealing 1.6, 2.6 billion per card. And so it's for a fight like against Vascor, you can see already I'm dealing pretty good damage, and I'm not even halfway there. Okay, so I guess what I'll do is I'm already close enough. So let's just go wait one more turn and then see if my see if I'm correct there. So you can see I'm not actually able to add any more of the passives there. 3 is maximum because there's only 4 of the Mystic cards. So we are going to get the similar output in terms of the fire gems on the board, and then we just kind of rinse and repeat. And the nice thing is I'm getting I'm getting basically infinite health here because my cards are healing for me, and I'm able to dispel chaos because I believe they've dialed down the debuff again to level 3. So it's a guaranteed dispel. So running one of them, even if it's not a guaranteed dispel, running 3 of these cards that can dispel basically, can give you almost 100%. So let's go ahead and exit out now and then see how much damage we're able to deal. So with this one attack, I was able to deal 22 billion, and it was about 60 something billion for this boss. So I believe that in one single attack, I'll be able to take that boss out. Right. So in a 60-second clock, that team actually works relatively well. Now, there's a couple more teams I'm going to show. One uses Domi, and then the other one uses Squall. So Domi is an older card that also powers up warrior cards. This is one of the things I was talking about. Unfortunately, it does not power up any other cards in the deck, but we can still make this work. So let's see if we have another guild boss. So let's go ahead and take this out. So let's go ahead and try this out. So with this particular deck, Domi, I am running a couple of honor relics just because I want to fill a board with fire gems using Domi. And so the best way to do that is to make sure that I do have enough honor intensity relics to do so. And so with that, what I want to do is use the relic to my advantage here. So in this case, what I'm going to see is I'm going to be generating some power gems. I also have a spirit. I also have a spirit relic there to to add more of the power gems here. And I'm gonna go ahead and activate the Cannibal God here to give me invulnerability, so I can be immune to damage for 1 turn. And then I believe the next turn, what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to actually now activate everything. I won't have a full board just yet, but I can activate at this point just to get it close enough, and then we'll go ahead and do a power gem swap, and we should deal more than enough damage to take out the boss at this point. So one of the things that, as this is happening, I wanted to talk about the gem fall. So if you think about how damage is calculated, your initial match of all your gems, power gems plus your fire gems, is going to determine the initial damage. And then anything after that, where it's additional matches, they actually have a separate formula that counts as a additional damage, but I don't believe it's multiplicative. So I think the additional matches that happen, each separate match has its own calculation. And as you know from Gemfall, you're just matching regular fire gems, and so the damage is actually going to be additive. So it's not going to be as significant as you would think. But it does boost, right? It's more damage than you would have if you just then compare it to just a single match on the board. All right, so that was Domi. And then if you have Squall, so Infernal Squall, I got this card from a revival pack. So it is a commander card, but it does work pretty well with the Night Sun. And so let's go ahead and try this deck out. And this deck can actually deal pretty good damage, but I'm just going to go ahead and against the regular guild boss right now. So let's go ahead and play this. So Infernal Squall, what it will do is it will actually destroy all non-red gems, fire gems, and then it will create power gem 2s for every 5 gems destroyed. And so the maximum you can create is about 6 fire gems, or 6 power gems, 7 power gems really. If you get just 5 or less fire gems on the board, or 0 fire gems, and so it does give you a nice boost to your power gem. So it kind of works like Thoth. And so what you can do here, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait 1 more turn here, and what you can do is go ahead and activate this. Right, so you can get the power gems first, and then activate Galena, then activate the Night Sun, and then go ahead and activate the support card. So the order is Infernal Squall, then Galena, then Night Sun, and then the support cards. And then with that, what you'll get is you're going to have the gem falls, and then you're going to also then end up with a nice board of gems that you can continue to match. And with that, we're able to deal pretty good damage as well. I believe close to 2.5. So actually 3.2 billion damage with that. So that's basically the decks that I have. Decks ideas using fire teams. There's one more deck here that uses the Earth Mystic, and this actually takes advantage of the giant card. So this one is basically like Ra from the fire event. And so but the nice thing is this is actually an Earth hero. So let's go ahead and try. Let's go ahead and try against this team, and then we'll call it at the end of the episode. So this will be the last team I'll be showcasing. And so what's nice is this, Satyr will actually be powered up by Haroon, because Haroon actually will generate power gem 4s. And so all I need to do is I need to wait until intensity 100. And so what I'll do is I'm just going to go ahead and quickly do some matches here so I can get my intensity up. At intensity 100, what I'll do is I'll also activate in the right order that you're supposed to for this particular deck, and that is go in and activate Ophrah first on the turn before, and then activate Haroon. So we're at intensity 80 at this point, so 1 more turn. And so now we're at intensity 100. I'm going to go ahead and activate Ophrah. So what that does is I will actually then be creating a lot more green Earth Gems on the board. And then I'll go ahead and activate Haroon first, and then activate Satyr, because I'm going to get 4 Power Gem 4s plus 5 additional Power Gem 1s from that battle skill. And then so with this, let's see how much damage we will deal. So this is going to be about 2 billion right there, and I'm going to just quit out there because this is a 60-second battle, so I'm going to have no problem taking it out. So 1.6. Now this is a Earth card, you know, going up against a neutral affinity, so it's not going to be as high damage, but you can see that this is where you can eventually use this deck as well for the right situation. And so that's pretty much all of the decks I wanted to showcase today. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Again, like I said, this particular event deck does require more power gems in order to be successful. So for any of these cards that can generate power gems for you will be helpful. So Infernal Squall, Ignis Souza, you know, and I also had another team that used Flamma and Bestiarius, and also Thoth and Ra. These cards are all pretty helpful, and obviously the ultra rare card from this particular event. So anyways, hopefully this has been helpful. Let me know if there's any questions below. Give me comments you know, below, and let me know what you're using. Love to hear your feedback and thoughts on this. So thanks for watching. Long video, apologize for that, and we will come back and talk about sort of the end of the event thoughts in the next episode. Thank you, take care, and I'll see you next time.